Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with an unhaul. It's large. Let's jump right into it. So I don't think you can tell, but like I have a stack of books that is, I'm touching it. Like right now, touching a book, and there's 5 stacks of them. So I'm going to bring some of them up onto the table here. We're going to go over them. I've got bags at my feet that I'm going to then take to Goodwill when it opens back up. Today is Christmas Eve, so they're not open today, but hopefully the day after Christmas I can get there. It is a significant amount of books. I haven't counted them yet, so we're going to do that. It's a lot of books to get through, so I'm not going to give you a ton of details on everything. I'll let you know if I read it or not, why I'm getting rid of it, and then it's going to go. It's not really up for debate. I've already sat with these things. They've been in these piles for a couple days. I've gone to my shelves over the last couple days and just pulled out things that I either am not interested in anymore or just aren't bringing me joy. Kind of KonMari'd the crap out of stuff, and I really want to redo my shelves. I feel like it goes without saying now. Does it go without saying at this point that like if I unhaul a book that you love, it's not a personal reflection on you? I feel like it should. I feel like that's an understood thing in the booktube world at this point, but these are just books that I don't need in my life anymore, so they're gonna go. I don't even have to bend down. I can literally just turn around and grab books. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this in terms of order. I'm just getting rid of things. My ultimate goal is to have like read and unread shelves, a TBR shelf that I can actually like look at. Right now I have so many of my books triple stacked on my shelves in ways where I can't even see everything I own, and I would really like to have read shelves where I can see all of my favorite books that I've decided to keep. I can't do that right now, and it's angering me, especially as I get into end of the year videos and I'm like, I can't even find that book anymore because it's buried behind a ton of stuff. I don't want that for my shelves, and I do just have these 2, so I need to better organize things. And I need to better organize my TBR shelf and make sure that it's really stuff that I truly want to read. So I'm just being ruthless. Like, no joke, this is probably one of the most ruthless declutters I've done in a very long time. So prepare yourself. We'll count as we go. I'm getting rid of Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett, not because I don't want to read it, but because my library has it and I can read it from there, and I haven't picked it up yet. So I'm getting rid of The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I read it, I 3-starred it, I didn't really love it. I'm also getting rid of Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia because I read it and 3-starred it, didn't really love it. These 2, we have like a little library in my apartment complex downstairs, and it's all like adults in here. I might leave these downstairs for the little library down there because I think other people might enjoy them. I also annotated the heck out of them, but like whatever. The Shadows by Alex North, I read. I actually listened to this on Hoopla, I think. And it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I need to physically have it. I didn't even read it physically the first time, and now that I'm reading more thrillers, like I just don't need to keep thrillers. The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. I'm not reading fantasy. I'm not reading YA fantasy, so House of Salt and Sorrows is also going. This one's by Erin A. Craig. I have so many signed books and like exclusive editions of books. They're going to Goodwill. Like, I'm not even selling them. I don't want to go to the post office. I don't want to deal with trying to sell them back, and my used bookstores around here are not open for taking this quantity of book, let alone books in general, still because of quarantine. So I'm just giving them to Goodwill. Like, I would love to be able to hold on to all of these and give them to you guys, but that's not something that I can do. Hello Girls by Emily Henry and Brittany Cavallero, which I read and actually really enjoyed. I thought it was a really good book. I just am never going to reread it, so I don't really need it on my shelves. I read that this year. Karen Slaughter's The Silent Wife, because this is part of a series. I got the ARC from the publisher, but I just am never going to read this. It's also, I believe, like a police drama thriller, and I don't like police-driven thrillers. And There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole, which I did read and annotate, but I just didn't love it. I'm going to get rid of Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Young. I have read both of these. They are both fantastic books. They are great arcs. Is this one signed and personalized? Shit, I think it is. I think it's this one. Damn it, it is. Signed and personalized. I liked the first book a lot. I've since unhauled the Owl Crate edition of it because I had the ARC, and I was like, if I'm going to keep anything, I'll keep the ARC, because that's what I read and annotated, which is fantastic and everything. But then I read book 2 and really didn't like book 2. And I don't think I'm going to continue because, again, YA fantasy, and I'm just not reading YA fantasy. So even though it's very cool to be able to say that I got ARCs of these, I read the ARCs before publication date. The publishers got what they wanted out of me reading the ARCs. The Stone of Sorrow by Brooke Carter. I believe this is like an indie pub or small pub from overseas. It's a YA fantasy. I'm not going to read it. I'm also going to get rid of A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood, which is a Gatsby-ish retelling. I'm never going to read that. I actually flipped through some of the pages to kind of look at it, and I don't think I need a YA Gatsby retelling. Mie So, The Only Child, and this one I'm going to get rid of as well. I got a finished copy and an ARC, and I think at this point I gifted the ARC to somebody, and I'm going to get rid of the hard copy because it is actually at my library on audiobook, so I feel like if I'm going to read it, I'm going to read it that way. I did try to start reading this, and it just didn't connect with me, but I'm thinking the audiobook might be the way to go for that one. The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm not going to read the Witcher series. I don't know why I think I will. I know it's adult. I know technically I could, but I'm just not going to. And I'm going to get rid of Octavia E. Butler's Fledgling, which I did read and I did enjoy, but I don't need to keep. I think somebody else will appreciate this and enjoy reading it. The Chestnut Man by Soren Sivstrop. I read it. It was fine, but I don't need to keep it. It's a thriller. It's kind of gory. It is really cool, but I don't need to keep it. Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker. I haven't read any K.A. Tucker, but I looked at the synopsis for this, and I just don't think that this is the one that I need to read, so it's going to go. Geek Girls, The Secret Love of Geek Girls by Hope Nicholson and Kelly Sue DeConnick. I read it. I enjoyed it. This was an ARC. I got this at one of the book events. I don't know which one. Witch Boy by Molly Knox Ostertag. Also read and enjoyed that one, but these can go to other people now. V.E. Schwab's Shades of Magic, Steel Prince, Barnes & Noble exclusive graphic novel. I did not like it. So, do I own everything that Victoria Schwab has ever written? Yes. Do I want to continue to collect that series? No. So it's going to go. Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Jomny Sun. This is very cute. I read it. I enjoyed it. It can go to somebody else. So some of those graphic novels are going to get passed on, and I'm okay with that. So that's more. I didn't count any of the fuck of these. Hold on one second. Another graphic novel. We've got Mooncakes. This is an ARC. I really did like this. This is by Wendy Sue and Suzanne Walker. And I did enjoy it. Oh, man. It is signed and personalized with a pigeon for BEA. Because, the BEA pigeon. Am I keeping this one? I did really like it. I was just like, do I need to keep it? And I didn't know if I did. But I'm going to keep it. Oh my gosh, that's happening once. I get one save. That's it. Okay, I'm going to get rid of The Merry Spinster, Tales of Everyday Horror by Mallory Ortberg. I don't know why I had a problem with that one. I read one or two of these, and I just don't think that it's my jam. They are dark, like Disney princess retellings. An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I tried to read this, guys, and it just didn't happen. I don't need to do it. All Out by Sandra Mitchell. I'm going to get rid of as well. I read a couple of the stories in here that I was interested in, and then I looked up some reviews on like the individual stories, and I think that I read the best ones, and now I can go to somebody else. I think it'll be influential for someone else. The Memory Thief by Lauren Manzi. Again, it's a stunning cover. Like, this is a beautiful book, but I don't think I'm ever going to read it, so it's going to go. So that's 3, 4 more. Let's make it 5. Our Year in Love and Parties by Karen Hattrup. It's an ARC that came out in October of 2019. I'm not going to read it, so that's going to go. Call It What You Want by Bridget Kemmerer. This one came out in June of 2019. I don't need this. And I think that this is the sequel to Letters to the Lost by Bridget, and I'm going to be getting rid of that. It's somewhere else in this stack. They've got to go. So yeah, unfortunately this one is a miss for me. And that one's going to leave me. As well as Irish Witchcraft and Demonology by St. John Seymour. I got this for like research for a book, and then I didn't end up doing it in Ireland. I'm going to be getting rid of The Arc of Reverie by Ryan LaSala, which I did read and annotate, but I didn't love, so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to be getting rid of The Elements for Editing, a modern guide for editors and journalists, because it was published in 1982, and while there's valid information in there, it's not really modern anymore, so that can go. I'm getting rid of the Barnes & Noble, well, these aren't all Barnes & Noble. I'm getting rid of the Carval series by Stephanie Garber. So, here's my caveat. I have the ARC for all 3 of these books. The beautiful Fairy Loot editions with stained pages and exclusive end pages and exclusive covers, and they're all signed, and they're stunning. They're stunning. I don't need these. The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Again, I read this, enjoyed it, listened to the audiobook. Oh, it's a fuzzy. I don't think I need this. I'm going to be getting rid of In Other Lands by Sarah Reese Brennan. I enjoyed this a lot. I do know that the audiobook is available to me, and I did read this in audiobook while like also kind of tabbing it up. It was a buddy read, clearly, because I've got little tabs up here for like marking the days, and I liked it. I just don't think I need to keep it, but it is a beautiful book. Like, it's actually gorgeous. Am I packing into a Quartz Light cooler bag? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm going to be getting rid of The Heart of Iron, but no, just Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, which is an Alcrate book. It's beautiful, and I did read it. I read it in an audiobook, and I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'm going to continue because, again, YA fantasy, sci-fi, it's not really a thing for me. Getting rid of Aurora Rising by Jay Kristoff and Aben Kaufman. I read it, I listened to it, and I don't think I need to keep the physical book. I'm not going to continue with the series. It's YA fantasy and sci-fi. If you're upset that YA is going, I'm very sorry, but it's just a thing that's going to happen. I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. Again, I mentioned unhauling this in my 2020 TBR. It's just not something that I need to keep. Imagine Us Happy by Jennifer Yu. I got this originally because it's about like mental health, and I really wanted to get into that. And I do like reading books about mental health, but then I never picked this up, and I don't think at this point I'm going to. I'm going to get rid of Hurricane Season by Nicole Melby. I tried to read In the Role of Brie Hutchins and DNF'd it. Really didn't like it. And I just question whether or not this is something that I need in my life, because a lot of people have said this made them cry and it was beautiful. I think I can get this from the library or somewhere else. I mean, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. Beautiful Alcrate edition of Goddess and the Machine. I had the ARC, I sent the ARC, I gifted the ARC to somebody, and then this is beautiful, but it's YA sci-fi fantasy, and I just don't have any interest in reading it. I know it's going to sit on my shelves because it's beautiful, and I want to read it, but I don't. Same with All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. It's mermaidy, I think. I don't know. It's YA fantasy, and these are both Alcrate editions. They're signed and they're beautiful, but I don't want to read them. Tonight the Streets Are Ours by Lila Sales, which I talked about in my 2020 TBR. I'm going to be getting rid of His Hideous Hearts by Dahlia Adler. This is a short story collection of Poe reimaginings, and I tried to buddy read this, and I got like a couple stories in, and I just realized I don't give a shit. I don't want to read it, so it's gonna go. So many bags. This whole video, I think, is just going to be me leaning down to put books into a bag. So that's fun. I've now separated things a little tiny bit. So we're going to start with the hardbacks. Summerbird Blue by Kemi Dawn Bowman. Not because it's not great, just because I don't want to read YA contemporary anymore. I just don't. And also The Black Friend on Being a Better White Person by Frederick Joseph. Not because I don't want to read this, but because I have an ARC and they sent me a finished copy, and I'd rather donate the finished copy so that somebody else can read it. I think that somebody at the Goodwill will hopefully really appreciate it. I personally am still really excited to read that one. The Fascinators, which all the goodies are still in there. This one is one that's available on Hoopla, so I don't need to worry about this. This one's by Andrew Eliopoulos. The Treason of Thorns by Laura E. Weymouth. These are the really cool ones too that have like reversible dust jackets, and there's a lot of like fun stuff about them. They're signed, but I just don't want to read this book. I think it's about a haunted estate where like the trees grow to keep people out. Woven in Moonlight novel by Isabel Ibanez. Gorgeous again, and she actually did the artwork for the cover and the reversible jacket. but I just don't have any interest in reading it anymore, and I can find it from the library or somewhere else if I really want to. Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer. You know this was going to show up. This one apparently has like unreliable narrators, miscommunication trope. I don't love a miscommunication trope, so that's got to go. Roar by Cora Carmack. I got rid of the Arc of Rage somewhere. Oh, it's in here still. I'm getting rid of both of them. YA fantasy, I just don't want to read it. I can get it somewhere else if I really want to. I'm getting rid of The Midnight Lie by Marie Rakowski because this one is also on Hoopla. I can listen to the audiobook. I don't want to keep it. And The Daughter of Temperance Hobbs by Katherine Howe, which has made it through the last Unhaul. Like, I pulled it out and I was like, I'll do a try chapter. I want to read this. And then I never picked it up, so I'm still not going to pick it up. Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. It's an Outgreat book. And I love the cover. I loved the book. I'm not going to reread this. I'm 40 years old. This can go to somebody else. There's a teenager out there that's going to love this book, or somebody that really, really connected with it that needs this right now. And I liked it. I really liked it. I'm pretty sure I 5-starred it. And it was very impactful for me when I read it. But it's going to be very impactful for somebody else. I'd rather pass it along. It's not something that I consider a favorite enough that I need to keep it on my shelves to continue to pull out and talk about. So this one's gonna go. So there's 5 more, that gives me 10. Sweet flippin' heavens, I'm getting so hot. Okay, so my little piece of paper here, that was 10 more into that bag. Little in Line by Brandy Colbert. I'm gonna finally go ahead and unhaul this. I liked it at the time. Again, it's not one that I love enough to keep. This was an Outgreat book. It was an exclusive cover. I do like Brandy's writing. It's just not something that I need to hold on to. Girl on the Verge by Sharon Biggs Waller. I hate the writing on the bottom of this. I loved it. I 5-starred it. It was angering. It was impactful. It was everything that I needed when I read it. And I do think that it is very, very meaningful. Again, this is one that I want other people to be able to read. And I don't see it being one that I pull out for videos and like talk about and rave about and make my thing. So I'm going to go ahead and let it go because I want somebody else to love it. Mirage by Samaya Dowd. I have the arc of it, which is what I actually read and annotated. And so I don't think that I need the finished cover as much as this Outgreat cover is beautiful. I don't think I need to keep this one because I have the arc, which is what I physically read. And I'm finding joy in having arcs of books that I love. And I don't always feel like I need the finished. And I don't think I'm going to continue with this series because, again, YA fantasy. But like it's a thing that I can pass on. The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. It was a good book, I think, maybe. I annotated it and I read it and I enjoyed it, but I did not love this the way that everybody else seemed to love this. It was good and it's gorgeous. But again, I have limited shelf space and I am really, really, really trying to hone in on like not minimalistic, but just only things that I remember in like the most blissful way. Like, yes, I read that book and oh my gosh, it was transformative and I loved it and it moved me and it changed me and it sticks with me. I can't really tell you what this is about anymore, which means I don't need to keep it. The 10th Girl by Sarah Faring. I love her. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She signed and personalized this arc at BEA. I met her. She was bewitching. Like, no one should be that pretty. But I hated this book, so I'm going to get rid of it. Balefire by Kate Tiernan. Again, I think this was just a used book purchase, and I'm not going to read it. Have You Seen Her by Lisa Hall. I did read. I did enjoy. I really liked it, but it is a thriller, and I'm not going to reread it. This one was about a nanny who loses a child, and it messed with my head, and I'm not keeping that. Rounding out number 5 are 2 books by Kim Harrison. These are Something Deadly This Way Comes and Early to Death, Early to Rise, which are little novellas. They're like YA versions of Kim Harrison books. And you guys know I love Kim Harrison, but these aren't even books 1 and 2, and I can't find the other ones. I'm not paying full price for the other ones. I don't think this is a series that I need to read, so they're gonna go. Keeping track of these numbers is ridiculous. This Song Will Save Your Life by Lila Sales, which I did read and annotate and really, really loved. Again, it's not one that has stuck with me enough that I feel like I need to keep it. And Rage by Cora Carmack, which is the arc to Roar. Roar's sequel. I'm never going to read Roar, so I'm never going to read Rage, so that's going to go. All the Better Part of Me by Molly Ringel. This is an arc that I've had since 2019. It was supposed to come out September 2019. I've never read it. I'm not going to. Starfish by Kemi Dawn Bowman, which again, I just don't think I'm ever going to read, and I believe is on Hoopla, so I don't need to get it from here. And The Book of Second Chances by Catherine Slee. This one was an Unplugged Book Box adult box book, and I actually was really interested in it, but I found it at my library, and I don't think I need to keep it on my shelves. Plus, it's about traveling, and I can't do that right now, which makes me angry, so I kind of don't want to read it. I blame it on 2020. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I believe this is one of those hard-hitting stories. I think it takes place after abuse or some kind of sexual assault, and I don't want to read that right now in my life anymore from a YA lens. I actually am reading one of them right now anyway, called After the Woods, which I am enjoying, but I can only read so much of it. Couple mass markets. We've got Deadlock by Cherry Lynn. I'm not going to read a mass market. Same with Megan Frampton's Lady Be Bad. Historical romance. The Bedding Vow by K.M. Jackson. I'm not going to read that. This one does have a POC main character. I don't know if the author is a woman of color. She is. So if you wanted an Own Voices POC romance, this might be a good one for you. I think some of these were signed to Chelsea. So I guess Chelsea got those signed. I don't know. And then Tessa Dare's The Governess Game, which I did read, did enjoy, but I don't need to keep. But Tessa Dare is a win. If you're a historical romance person, I did enjoy that book. I'm not going to continue with the series. So those 4 are going to go. Now we're going to get into some of the ones that I think you guys might get a little bit butthurt about. I save those for the end here. And the first group of books is, I don't think you're going to get that butthurt, are you? I don't think so. I'm getting rid of the Clockwork, whatever the hell this is. Infernal Devices. I'm not keeping these. Jem and Will and Tessa can do their thing on someone else's time. I did keep the not the Infernal Devices. No, not that. What the fuck is the other series called? The more recent ones. Lady Midnight. Them. I kept them. I do enjoy those. Steampunky historical shit is just not my jam, and while I get it, I've read it, and again, I can't stress enough how freaking old I am and how old I feel every time I look at these. And these were not even on my shelves. These were on a shelf in my closet, stored away in a way that I forgot I had them, which means I don't need them. They didn't even make my shelf. I'm going to be getting rid of another trilogy, which might be surprising to you, and it's the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. I'm not getting rid of these so I can get the new covers. I think the new covers are atrocious. I actually really like these old covers. I'm getting rid of them because I didn't like the series. I don't like Mal. I don't like Alina. I don't care about this series anymore. I much prefer her more recent books. I like Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows. I am probably going to unhaul King of Scars at some point because I'm trying to read it and it's just not happening, but I'm going to give it one more shot before I officially unhaul it. And I do like Ninth House, so I will continue to read from her, but this ain't it for me. So these are going to go. So let's take a look at these books, which I'm going to do an official apology to you guys for, but also it was a learning curve situation for me personally, and that is some traveling books. So I send out traveling books at the beginning of my booktube career to people, and randomly from a list, I generated names and addresses, and I sent out a book, and you guys read it, and you sent it back to me. And the concept was to have those books on my shelves, annotated by you, that I could love and enjoy and keep and read and see your thoughts. And in theory, it was fantastic. I had a couple books never come back to me. I had a couple books never make it to the next person. I had some issues where I was doing it with Patreon, where I would select somebody and buy their book that they wanted me to read, annotate it, send it out to other people, and it would get to them, and then it would never get to them. It was just a hot mess. And logistically, to keep track of everything, it was stressful. And at the beginning, I was sending out books that other people were just like, hey, I'd be interested in that, and I'd send it out, but I hadn't read it yet. I didn't know anything about it. Turns out a lot of these were 2-star books that nobody liked, and then I felt like I had to keep because these people annotated it and read it for me, but I hate the books. So I'm not gonna keep them anymore. So that's Sarah Dessen's Lock and Key. I'm sorry if you read and annotated this for me. I did read through your annotations, but I don't like Sarah Dessen and I don't want to keep this. Also, Anna Dressed in Blood, I DNF'd. God bless you. A lot of you got through this and liked it. No, 2.5. 4 out of 5. 3.5. 4 out of 5. I'm sorry, Samantha and Lisa and Chloe and Corinna. I love you guys, and I still talk to all of you. But, like, this is not... I did not like that book. I'm glad you did. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han is problematic AF, and I don't like it. I read this after it came back to me, and I actually went through after the fact and annotated it along with you guys. Like, I added my own annotations into this, and it's hot garbage. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't want to keep it. And there was a part of me, again, these were up in my closet because I felt bad getting rid of them, but that's not... I don't want books that upset me, and I know that's not your intention for this whole process either. This thing, Valiant by Leslie Livingston, everybody hated this. Like, DNF'd it, and then it got back to me, and I was like, do I even read this? Like, 2 stars, DNF, 2 stars, straight DNF. And, like, everybody that read this book has my phone number. I love you. You can call me, text me. I'm sorry. I'm not keeping it. And they said, like, maybe don't read that. So, you know, thanks for looking out. I'm also getting rid of How to Be Bad by E. Lockhart, Sarah Malinowski, and Lauren Miracle. I think we all know Lauren Miracle is a little problematic. E. Lockhart I love, but Genuine Frog fell flat. And Sarah Malinowski I don't know much about, but this book was garbage. And A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, which I love Libba Bray, and this was like a whole journey to get this book back to me. I don't think people loved this one either. 1 star, 3 star, DNF, 1 star. And then I listened to the audiobook. The annotations in this are beautiful, but like I don't need to keep these books to remind me that I've got booktube friends. Like, it just didn't work for me. They don't work for me. There's 2 more. Okay. We're down to the last books. And I'm not gonna apologize. I don't know why I'm even trying to like act like, well, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't even know what order these things go in. But it's Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I've already gotten rid of her Court of Thorns and whatever the hell it is series. I got rid of all 4 of them. Because I did have the novella Frost and Starlight. I got rid of all of them. And I'm getting rid of Throne of Glass. And Queen of Shadows. And Crown of Midnight. And Heir of Fire, which was my favorite of the book. Come at me. I know a lot of people hate this book. I love this book. And Empire of Storm. And here's the kicker. I'm getting rid of Tower of Dawn. I still have a bookmark in it. I should probably take that out. I have a bookmark on page 85. I don't care if you love Kale. I don't care if he gets a redemption arc. I don't want to read it. And I'm getting rid of Kingdom of Ash, and I haven't read them. I haven't finished this series. I don't want to finish this series. I continue to put them on TBRs. I continue to say, I'll finish the series. At some point, I'll pick it up. I don't want to skip to Kingdom of Ash without reading Tower of Dawn. But I don't care. I do not care. I truly don't. So, if somebody would like to DM me, email me, my email's in the description box down below. Email me and tell me what the hell happens in Tower of Dawn. And tell me what happens in Kingdom of Ash. I'm not opposed to knowing how the series ends. I just am not investing any more of my life in this series. It's not happening. It's just not. Sarah J. Maas is not going to be somebody that I buy from again. Will I continue to read the books? Maybe. Crescent City was not bad, but I listened to it. I will not be buying her books. Not because I don't support her as a person, but just because, like, I never want to keep them. They've all left me now at this point. So they got to go. Man, it's so much space. And again, all but the last 2, which were on my shelf, were up in my closet. I completely forgot I had it. The one book you won't see in this unhaul is Assassin's Blade, which is the novella prequel to this series, which I love. I love it. It's my favorite book of the series, the prequel novellas. It's also the first book that I ever physically annotated, ever. like ever took a pen to purposefully and wrote in that I was reading for pleasure, which is special to me, but I also just really, really loved that series of little short stories. So I'm keeping that, but the rest of these are going. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't even know how many books are in the series. I don't really know what happened. I think you overheated and my hair is up because I overheated physically, couldn't handle it anymore. I have 7 bags of books to go to Goodwill. It drives me bananas that I don't live near like a half-price bookstore where I could get like a decent price for selling those back, because a lot of them are signed and a lot of them are exclusive, but I'm really, really happy that they're going to be going to other homes where people might really enjoy those stories or need those stories. Overall, I unhauled 87 books. I did count them all. It was 87 books. I do want to film my favorite books of the year. I have a couple other ideas for videos that I think are going to be really fun and kind of challenging for me and something new for me, but I don't want to film them until I have new shelves. So I'm going to go upload this footage, eat some lunch because it's nearly 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to tackle these shelves so they might look a little different the next time you come back. Changes, man. I have a feeling while I am redoing my shelves, I will find more books to unhaul. You might get little vlog clips of me unhauling more books as I go through my shelves. I don't think I'm done. As I rework my shelves, I'm sure I'll find a couple more and we'll see. But for right now, it's 87. I know it looks excessive. I know it stinks to see a whole bunch of books go, especially if it's something that you really loved or something that you wish I would read or something that you've really been coveting and want to find. I know I'm very lucky. I pay for my Outcrate books. It's not like I'm getting rid of them because I got them for free and I don't care. I just genuinely know I'm not going to read those things. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Please don't comment down below asking me to mail them to you. In the time of coronavirus, I'm not going to the post office, have not been to the post office, will not go to the post office. But I appreciate you. I know you guys understand that it's not personal and it's not me being ungrateful. They were purchased with my money. They're going to go to other people who can use those stories a whole lot more than me right now. And I'm going to just continue to cultivate my shelves to things that I really, really, truly love and make me happy and that I cannot wait to read. Okay, friends, I promised you that there would be more, and there is. I mean, things are clearly changing, but I am literally at a single stack. I can see literally all of my books, which is amazing. Nothing is hidden behind anything anymore. I might have empty shelf space. I don't know. I haven't done my TBR shelves yet, just my red shelves. And I am cleaning out more stuff. One of the books that I forgot to unhaul earlier, it was on my floor, so it was in the original stack, I just forgot it somehow, is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I just don't want to support Rainbow Rowell. This is one of the traveling books, and it's tiny, so it would be easy to kind of justify keeping, but I don't want to, so that's going to go. Unravel by Callia Reed was actually unhauled by Chelsea, and I took it, but I found it on Hoopla, so I'm just going to listen to this if I want to read it. The Map from Here to There by Emery Lord is an arc that I never got to. I did like The Map from Me to You, but I'm never going to read this. The Lies They Tell by Gillian French, I found on Hoopla. I did check a lot of these to Hoopla, so if they're on there, I'm just going to listen to them. So I do have it favorited on Hoopla. I will read it there. The Escape Room by Megan Golden. I didn't like the Night Swim by her, so I'm not going to keep this, and it is on Hoopla, so I will listen to that. This is going to go down into my library for my residents of my apartment building. I'm also unhauling The Familiar by Mark Z. Danielewski. This is part of a series that I think is supposed to be 26 books long. It is structured like a show, so each book is an episode, and it's supposed to be one for each of the alphabet letters or something. I think there's only 8 or 9 out. I tried to get through this. This is one of the books that has like a rope bookmark. I got to page 261, so it's not like I didn't give this the good old college try. I've annotated it. I really tried. It's not going to be something that happens for me. I think I'm going to leave it at House of Leaves and just love his writing from there. I will also amend my prior videos. I said that I loved Beware the Wild by Natalie C. Parker and okayed The Beast is an Animal by something, Van Arsdale, Petronell, something. Anyway, I didn't love Beware the Wild, so I have this. I did annotate it, but I'm going to unhaul that. I am also going to unhaul my Ravenclaw edition of Harry Potter because I don't want these in my life. This is going to go to the kids I nanny for, though, because they are enjoying reading them and far be it for me to tell them not to read it, so I'm gonna let that go. Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim, and I do still have the ARC. I kept that, but I'm gonna go ahead and unhaul this. It is the signed, beautiful Alcrate edition, but I really like the original cover, and that's on the ARC, so I'm just gonna keep that. Similarly, I'm gonna get rid of What Kind of Girl by Alyssa Scheinmel, which I loved, but I have the ARC. I annotated the ARC, so I'm just going to keep that. They sent me the finished copy, and I love it, but I hope somebody else will too, so I'm just going to let that one go. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. Not because I didn't love it. I did. It was a 5-star read. It was phenomenal, and I listened to this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one along. I listened to it, and then this got delayed. Again, this was an Uncle Bobby's bookstore in Philadelphia purchase, and it was so overrun by shopping for people trying to support Black-owned businesses that it took me a very long time to get this book, which is fine, but I'd already listened to it, and I think I'd rather let somebody else be able to read that, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that along. I read This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada this year, earlier, and I liked it a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because I don't think I'm going to continue. I did have This Cruel Design also by her. It's like zombie apocalypse kind of pandemic-y, and I read it at the start of the pandemic, and I just don't think I want to continue, so I'm just going to let the two of these go. Heather Demetrios's Exquisite Captive doesn't have great ratings. It's been on my shelf for a really long time. I'm just not going to keep it. The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen, which I was really excited for, but it's part of a podcast, and I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know the original content, and I don't think I need to keep it. It's also like, I believe it's queer YA fantasy, but I don't have any interest in it. This was on my 2020 TBR, Iona Andrews' Magic Bites, and it is definitely at my library, and it's sat here, and I haven't read it over and over and over and over and over again, so I'm going to go ahead. Do I want to let this go? I'm going to keep that one. I get one keep per thing. Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I'm getting rid of it. I can listen to it or get it from my library or some other source. I don't need to keep it. I'm going to get rid of Julie Kagawa's The Iron Fae series. Read these. I loved them. They're on my Kindle, and I thought I was going to reread and annotate these, and I did reread, or start to reread rather, this first one. Oh my goodness. I am 75 pages into it. I had a Goblin King Labyrinth bookmark in there I would have gotten rid of. But I think the time has passed. I was really into reading these again when I was writing a Fae contemporary fantasy, and I do still like them, but I have them on my Kindle. I found a couple of these were gifted to me, and that's phenomenal and amazing, and I'm very, very thankful, but I think somebody else is going to really enjoy this series, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that one along. I'm also going to do the same with the Heart of Darkness, The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I am keeping Vow of Thieves and Dance of Thieves, her next series, in this kind of world, and I liked these. I do think our main character didn't have quite the arc that I was hoping she would have, but I like the writing style. It's just that this is a series I don't need to keep. I've read it. It's YA fantasy. I'm not going to reread it. It's not going to be one that I pull down on my shelves to rave about, so it's just going to go. Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang I know is available on audiobook, and again, it was fine. It was great. I liked it. I 5-starred it, I'm pretty sure. I love the representation in it. I love that it's an own voices POC author. I just don't need to, I'm not going to reread this. And if I do, I could listen to it or find it somewhere else. So that's going to go. I have another copy of The Hazelwood. I have the ARC and I have an Alcrate edition. And I got this because it's a beautiful, beautiful paperback. But I'm deciding to let it go because I didn't love the series as a whole enough to own the paperback of The Night Country, even though that is also stunning. But I just don't, I don't think I need that many copies of the book. So it's going to go. I have an ARC that I read of Famous in a Small Town by Emma Mills, which I just didn't like. I didn't like this book. And I'd already ordered the hard copy, and so I kept it, but it doesn't have like Emma Mills's traditional beautiful hardbacks, and I didn't like the story, so this is gonna go. Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, I did not love. I love This Adventure Ends. It remains one of my favorite books. This one does have one of the really, really pretty covers that she's known for. This one was a signed book plate, I believe. Yes. From Alcrate, and I read and annotated it, and it's going to go to somebody else who's hopefully in that YA reading range and can appreciate this. It's not me anymore. So that's all going to go. So overall, that was 115 books. I did remove the one that I'm keeping. What did I decide to keep? Iona Andrews. So I had originally thought it was 116. I took one off, so 115 books. 115 books are going, guys, which I ended at 83 before. So 13 and 15 is 28 more books that I got rid of. Time to go. I'm going to get back to work. All right, guys, a couple more that I'm going to get rid of. I actually ended up deciding to keep Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating because I have the Honeymooners, and it's like two of my favorites. I don't actually own Roomies. It's on my Kindle, but not like a physical copy. Anyway, I found a couple more that I want to get rid of because I think I have enough room now on my TBR shelves, which I still have not finished. I think I have enough room on my TBR shelves to put my ARCs over there. So I went through my ARCs again, and I'm going to get rid of a couple. The Only Black Girls in Town by Brandy Colbert, just because I don't particularly love her writing most of the time. And this is a middle grade. I think somebody else is really going to enjoy this. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this along. I'm also going to get rid of By the Book by Amanda Sellett. It's YA contemporary romance that I think has, I want to say, yeah, Austin Tolstoy. No, thank you. I don't want that. What I Like About You by Marissa Cantor. Again, it's YA romance. I don't want to read that. The Last Confession of Autumn Casterly by Meredith Tate. I tried to read this. I took the bookmark out, but I got at least probably like 60 pages through this, and I just wasn't feeling it. I'm also going to get rid of Pretty as a Picture by Elizabeth Little because I have looked at the synopsis for this. I have attempted to like maybe want to pick it up, and it's been on the top shelf of my ARC things, which means like I'm more interested in it than others, and yet I've never picked it up. I don't think I care. Even in a thriller mood, I don't think I care. And then Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chapeko, who's the author of The Bone Witch, which I do own, but still have not read. Don't think this has the best ratings. I just looked on Goodreads, and it's below a 3.5, I think. Having not read any of her other work, this is a YA fantasy where magic leaves a land, so then they go to the, like, human world, but then they see a magical animal in the human world, and maybe magic is returning. It's YA fantasy, so I don't need to do that. Technically, from the first two batches, I had 115 books. 87 from the first batch, and then I came back and we got up to 116, but then I decided to keep one, so we were at 115. This is 6 more, which puts me at 121. 121 books are going to go. So I'm going to add these to the other tote bags, and then I'm going to work on my TBR shelves. 121. That's it. This is the last clip. I promise. Maybe. I don't know. No, this is the last clip. Anything else is going to wait for another video because this is ridiculous. 121 books officially going. That's it. That's all I got for you. So I will talk to you later. If you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when I put out new content, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.